What's up guys, I'm here today to show off my health tank build. As you can see right now I've got 55.8k health unbuffed, which is pretty high if I do say so myself. I know a lot of people that tank normally have maybe 40k at the maximum, and it's kind of obnoxious and unnecessary, but it makes for a lot of fun content and playability, which is the best part of this game and all the sets that you can use. So let's hop right into the gear here. For my monster set, I'm running Malubeth in medium and light. For the helmet, I have Infused, and for the shoulders, I have Divines. Divines is for the Magicka Recovery. Talk about that in a little bit on the stats. Infused, obviously, you want more health. That's quite a lot of health, 1144. For the body and legs, also, you want Infused. In the set of Armor Master, it's a 9 trait found in the Fighters Guild. The 5-piece is really good in this because it helps maintain high health while reaching those resistance soft caps, which everybody tries to strive for. Otherwise, you know, you're kind of a garbage tank. So after you get those pieces made up, also I've got the gauntlets in Divines. I have 5-piece Plague Doctors. I've got all 3 jewelry pieces, and then just boots and belt. Of course, you can swap this with any other piece, but I think boots and belt kind of, you know, don't take away from all of the aesthetic of this, which I think looks pretty cool. And then the sword and shield both need to be Armor Master as well. The shields, I've been meaning to change over to Infused as well to get more health out of it, as Divines right now. If I upgraded this to Legendary, I would get 2 more Magicka Recovery out of it. That's not worth it. I'd rather get 300 more health and lose 14 Magicka Recovery. Because right now I'm at, 1452 without my food buff, which is pretty good. You'd want to be aiming around 2k with your food buff. So next I want to talk about the skills. On my front bar, I have obligatory taunt, morphed into Pierce Armor. Good thing about this is it doesn't cost much stamina, seeing as we only have 11k stamina to work with. Next, I've got Vigor. Since Morrowind came out, this kind of got nerfed. Costs a lot more, so you're probably not going to be using this as much, and this build might not even be nearly as good, but it definitely is good for self-sustain. Not so much for group play, when you would normally be able to run this with 3 DPS that would have maybe Vigor slotted or Crit Surge or something to help sustain themselves. You could run a full dungeon with that. Right now, I'm not sure, I haven't tried it yet since Morrowind just came out. But yeah, you might be able to change this out for some other sort of heal, maybe Dragon Blood, maybe Green Dragon Blood for the stamina recovery even, because that's kind of valued. It's recovery. So next I have Shuffle. This synergizes with the Armor Master passive. You have to have one of these on your bar at all times to get the passive. Shuffle's just a good ability all around. Gains dodge chance. You don't lose shields if you dodge the attack, so it's almost like another shield. The bread and butter right here, Igneous Shield. It costs 4k Magicka right now, and it heals shields for 10k health on a friendly, but it also shields you for 20k. That's ridiculous. Although it's unmitigated damage through a shield, that's still quite a lot to go through. A lot of, not necessarily one-shot mechanics, but things you're not supposed to stand in dungeons. You can pretty much just pop this and Bone Shield and you're set. The Major Mending's really good. You pop this and then Vigor, and then as well as when Malubeth is running, you get the heals back while you have that even higher with the Major Mending. And the Monster Set and the Igneous Shield pretty much make you unkillable. And then Bone Shield here, I've morphed into the Surge one, where it gives minor vitality to your teammates when they pick it up. This is kind of more morphed towards keeping your group alive instead of, the reflect damage it's nice. You really only have 2 damage abilities on both of your bars, so you can spec into that, but I find this is a little bit better for group content. Alright, Frez, my ultimate, I have Magma Shell. Kind of self-explanatory. Being a support tanky kind of character with shields, you shield them for all of their health, and then some, and then a fifth of it. So that's good, as well as the resource return on that. But it does have a higher cost, so I kind of compensate for that on the other bar if you need resources on demand. I wish this did give yourself a shield, although you know you can only take 3% of your max health, which is kind of OP. But that, and then an igneous shield and a vigor, you should pretty much be topped off and good to go. So on the back bar, I've got same taunt. You can swap this with Inner Fire in the event that you have like a ranged fight, kind of like maybe the last boss of Fungal Grottle 2, when you can just stand at a range. You don't ever need to be up there, and you just hold block, cast Inner Fire, and throw shields up on the group damage phase. Next I've got Hardened Armor. What's not to love about increased resistances and 17% of your health shield for 3.5 seconds. Plus this is a little bit of damage back. I guess I lied. You have 3 damage abilities, 4 slotted. This next one, Absorb Magic, is by far, hands down, one of the most OP abilities on your bar. Only costing 2k stamina. You heal 13% of your max health. At higher ranks, I believe it's 15%, which is a pretty big difference when you've got a lot of health. But yeah, and then the passive on it reduces the amount of stamina it takes to block, which isn't too important because you won't be doing a lot of blocking in this build. It's going to be more of just to stand there and throw shields on yourself build. But nonetheless, it's really good if you're in a magic fight with a caster, and you can just spam this and igneous shield back and forth, and you'll top yourself up real quick. Choking Talons, pretty self-explanatory. So it's a typical tanking ability, keeping things locked down. And then I've got Unstoppable for the Armor Master passive. This also helps reach the soft cap for resistances. Plus it lasts for 14 seconds. That's pretty good. This also lasts for how long is that? 20 seconds. So you're pretty much set for a while. Even though it does cost a lot of resources, about 5k stamina. You cast this before a fight and throw Igneous Shield on yourself before you go in. That regens about 1,000 stamina just from the Earth and Heart passive. And then kind of set on that. Plus you have all the Magicka regens, so any Magicka ability you cast is pretty much spammable at that point. For my ultimate, I've been kind of experimenting. I used to use both Magma Shell, but now I've started to use Ferocious Sleep because more shields. And it's really low in cost, 125 ultimate. 118% of your health, that's a pretty big shield. I'll probably put a picture on screen of the highest health and shielding I've achieved in this patch, which is kind of funny. I think it's somewhere close to like 100 and I don't even know, 70k or something. For other skills that you might want to swap in here, if you want to change up the build a little bit, thinking it's not spicy enough, maybe you want to get rid of Vigor. I've been thinking about putting Low Slash morph to, I believe it's called Heroic Slash, where it gives you more ultimate per hit. That's also pretty good. Shield Wall is also very good as an alternative ultimate because it only costs 100. Plus you get the resource regen, and then since blocking's pretty hard for this setup, this kind of makes it a breeze. If you've got a lot of stuff on you, you can just hold block and tank it all. But I think that about does it for the skills. I'm gonna go on to my attributes and stats. I've got 64 in health. I've messed around with different ones in Magicka and stamina, maybe like 40 stamina, 24 health, you know, mix and match, 20, 20, 20. It doesn't really matter. You're still going to have horrible resource management. So you kind of just got to rely on the recovery, not the pool size. So I've dumped it all into health. You don't have to do this. Obviously, if you want more stamina for blocking, if it's more of a blocking intensive fight, especially for trials, stamina is pretty good because you've got to break free from some stuff or roll or just constantly block on the last boss, you know. So the main focal point here, Magicka Recovery. I don't have my food on right now. I'll put that on in a second. Right now it's at 1452. You're going to want to be aiming for about 2k Magicka Recovery. That's 1k every second. Reason being, this costs 4k, so you only have to wait 4 seconds to cast the shield again. And the best part is it lasts for 7.5 seconds, so you can have 100% upkeep, assuming you don't take more than 10k damage in that amount of time, which you usually will, but if you hold block, you know, you won't. This is more for your party than yourself. Stamina recovery, I've been kind of messing around putting some CP points into that with this patch, but since they kind of suffered DR, I think I put 15 points into something and it only got me like 20 stamina recovery out of it. I'm not entirely sure if that was the right choice. Maybe I should have put more points into the tenacity, I don't know. But resistances, this is unbuffed, 23k and 20k. I believe soft cap is like 32.5 or something. So you just pop those two, and we're at 30.4 and 33.7. So you're definitely capped on spell resistance. Physical resistance you can put CP points into, or maybe try to change some things around in the build with different skills. I'm not entirely sure on how you could get more physical resistance out of this, but that's all I'm working with right now. For the food, actually, my Mundus stone is the Atronach. It's got 264 Magicka Recovery, which is ridiculous. The divines in purple, each piece gives me 14 Magicka Recovery. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So you know, that's a decent chunk. 40, 50 Magicka Recovery. Losing out on maybe a couple hundred health, it's alright. So for food, just to show off, I like to use just straight health food for my largest health pool. Self-buffed, I'm at 64.6k. In a duel, this can be up to like 71k, which is kind of ridiculous. The normal food I run is Orzorga's Red Frothgar. Now this gives you, I believe it's 400 something Magicka Recovery, 457 Magicka Recovery and 5k health. So you definitely won't be at that 70k, but you're at 62.5k health with 1968 Magicka Recovery. That's pretty ridiculous. The rest of this I can get out of CP points, and I can kind of focus on changing my other pieces as I level up in CP, because I'm only at 300 right now. If I got up to, well, you know, 630 right now, this would definitely be a lot higher. I wouldn't need to have, you know, divines on any of these pieces, you know, rip all my mats making this gold. But yeah, you've got the Magicka Recovery to just keep shielding yourself for 21k every single time. It's kind of ridiculous. For rotation wise and sustain, you're definitely going to want to do some heavy attacks. So in my CP points here, I'll show this off. Been kind of messing around since this update just came out. They completely changed this tree right here. There used to be reduced costs in Magicka stamina. It's no longer here, so you've kind of got to spec straight to recovery. Put 15 points into here. I told you I didn't really get much out of it. It's not really worth right now, I don't think. For Arcanist, I'm getting too much DR. Right now I'm getting 0.1% for 1 point, so that's kind of, you know, ridiculously low. You definitely want to put most of your points into this though, and then and in tenacity, you definitely want to put a decent chunk, not too many. I'm not entirely sure what the best thing is. You really don't need health recovery because you know, you've got 60k health and you got shields. If you're kind of using more stamina, I guess you could try to adapt this to you know, putting more points into recovery, and you definitely need a few in here just to make it worthwhile. You know, a heavy attack might give you like 2k stamina back, which is pretty good because your taunt only costs I think about 1.6k. So that's that tree, the lover. Nothing in the shadow. Got 80 in blessed and 20 in elfborn, just for the self heals. Doesn't seem like anything else in these trees seems to, you know, give you anything beneficial for tanking wise. These trees, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't looked around. I see ironclad. Looks like a good pickup now. You might want to sprinkle some points into here. Reduces direct damage, but I've got it kind of spread amongst thick skin, hardy, and elemental defender. This again, I'm not a wizard here. I don't know all of the correct numbers. You can try to probably, I don't know, you could probably dump all your points into ironclad and it'd work. I don't know. But that's what I'm running right now. And then this is the most important part. You want to put at least like 15% into Bastion. You want to get that up there. 50 points. Pre-Morrowind, I was putting 50 points into this, and I was getting about 15%. So now it's even more. So technically we got buffed. Resources-wise, we got nerfed. But this is still ridiculous. 18.75%. If you're throwing up a 20k shield, that's, you know, 4k more. And I believe that's it. That's my CP points. So kind of the rotation you want to be using, I'll go over here to a world boss just to show you how stupid this is. You pretty much stand there and do nothing. You want to go in with your buffs up, and then taunt if you're in a real scenario. I like to have stamina potions on my quick slot, because you can see you kind of run out a lot. But every time I cast Obsidian Shield or take that damage from that armor, heavy armor passive, or block even right there, I just got more. But that's the Malubeth proc. I'm just kind of standing here taking damage. It's really easy. To get your resources back, you're going to want to... Okay, what's going on there? You want a heavy attack, and then Obsidian Shield, heavy attack, Obsidian Shield. You'll be full in about 2 or 3 rotations. Have yourself a bigger shield and a full health. So now, if you look at my health bar, oh, I forgot shuffle. If you look at my health bar, you can see the amount of the shield that I'm going to get. It might be a little off because of taking damage, but throw up that, and then the 122k plus 62k. That's not even counting the sword magic, but that, you know, that's a magical hit. It's kind of ridiculous. You kind of just stand here and you're just a meat shield, and you can pull tons of stuff. I might add a clip of me just kind of standing in a bunch of stuff and never dying. It's a little obnoxious, but it's really fun when you're in like a group and you can duo a veteran dungeon that you might not normally be able to do without a healer or something. You can almost constantly shield your DPS on cooldown. Oh, and that also reminds me, there's a skill here I've been meaning to try out. Let's see if you guys can try it out. Oh, it's an alliance war. It's guard. The morph of this, I forget exactly what it's called. I looked it up the other day. But this might be good if you're running a 2-person dungeon and, you know, you can't exactly get full 100% aggro on a trash pack that's pretty big. So this would save them for those 1 or 2 and give you time to taunt them. So I'm dying over here. How you get back to full health. Easy. Any boss that doesn't have AoE damage or some sort of targeted damage where it's just you and the boss and people swinging at them, you don't need to heal it. Your healer can just go full DPS. You just kind of need to stand there and pop them. That's your entire job. So I think that's about it. Showed you everything. showed you the food. You might want to kind of mess around with some max health, max stam food. If maybe you're in more of a blocking situation and you have a dedicated healer and you know you're not going to be able to keep yourself alive. You know, it's kind of decent having how much more? 6k more, it's not bad. There's a Malubeth proc, keeps me alive. And then this, bam, 74k shield. It's really good for trash aggro, which I like doing. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. If you got any questions, leave it below, or any other suggestions for skills or armor sets. That's about it, but thanks guys, I'll see you later. Bye.